Hello, my sweet and savory peeps. This is Kat, aka Kakibot, and today I think we deserve a little bit of a treat. And I believe that this is a quintessential experience for everyone who is visiting not only Scotland, but anywhere in Britain really. But obviously this video is going to be specifically for you visiting Edinburgh, because this is going to be all about afternoon tea in Edinburgh. And we're going to be visiting and comparing Edinburgh's least expensive and most expensive afternoon tea experience, which I'm obviously very excited about, especially the latter. We're going to be starting at a £15 price point at the Mercure Hotel on Princess Street, and well, let's say that the second one is going to be a surprise, because if you sit and watch through the first, the cheapo one, then I promise you that the second one is going to be the real treat. So yeah, don't go anywhere. I promise that the second one is well worth sticking around. Okay, so we got our £15 afternoon tea. The things that I showed you in the B-roll is obviously the double portion, so it's £15 each, and you kind of progress from the bottom level to the top, and I have to say that I'm very impressed for the price, because I did look at some Google reviews before I came here, and honestly some of the pictures of the afternoon tea were questionable. Some of them did have like a Tunnock's tea cake on there, which I wouldn't have a problem with. I love Tunnock's tea cakes, but I'm glad that this actually does look very presentable. Yeah, so we have two kinds of sandwiches. We have this brown bread with mustard and ham, and we have what looks like cheese and tomato. Cheese and tomato. And then we have some sort of like rusk-like cracker with salmon on it, which is probably going to be super crunchy. Let's ASMR. That's nice enough. And then we have scones, which come with clotted cream, the sort of regular clotted cream, and what looks like jam with like one strawberry on top. Here on top it looks like we have like a mini cheesecake, some sort of little tartlet, which seems like it has something chocolatey on the inside. Then like a little kind of chocolatey layer cake, and then like a little parfait, I would call this. It looks like, oh, I think it's like a tiny Cranachan. I think that's what's going on there, because I can see like little bits of oats in there, and there's a raspberry. So, you know, they give you like a little kiss of Scottishness in there. So that was Edinburgh's cheapest afternoon tea. And again, I have to say that I was quite pleasantly surprised. There were definitely like ups and downs going through those three tiers. I would say that the up was the top tier. There was the little cakes. I think those were all really nice. I mean, then again, it's a hard to mess up cake. On the other hand, the scones, which I would argue is quite a important part of an afternoon tea experience, especially if you've never done one before. Their scones, I'm trying to find some nice words about them.
Biscuits.
Yes, I mean in British parlance they were more like biscuits. In American parlance, more like crackers, I guess. They were very, very hard. That said, I mean, if you like the flavor, you can still like dunk them in your tea or coffee. And what I liked is that in this afternoon tea, and I did notice that in other afternoon teas in Edinburgh as well, you are not limited to just one drink. So Simon had his coffee and then he had his pot of tea, and that was still included in the £15. So yeah, on top of the £15, we paid 10% service charge. So I guess that takes it slightly higher, but still makes it the cheapest one in Edinburgh from what I've seen. Also not a super busy place to go, especially like they were a bit busy because it was lunchtime, but really only a tiny bit. It wasn't loud. It was a bit hot because obviously you know on a sunny day you get quite a lot of sunshine in, but otherwise, you know, a pretty chill place to like if you're on a budget, then why not? It's nothing to write home about, but it is not as bad as you might expect for £15 per person. I'm not sure if I'm selling it. Okay, so next up is Edinburgh's most expensive afternoon tea, and our hopes are high. Okay, so I'm going to be talking you through this very quietly because this is it just doesn't feel like this place is ready for my usual volume. Anyway, we had our little amuse-bouche, which was a tiny cup of soup, and now we got our 3-tiered set of savories. So on top, I think this is some sort of like gazpacho-y concoction. This is a little like shepherd's pie reimagined, a little hoisin duck taco. Here we have some sort of, I think it's like a pea and something creme brulee. This is like a mini quiche of sorts. This is goat cheese with, I think, some sort of fruity situation. Nom nom nom. And on the bottom we have some house-made or house-baked breads. One of them is the traditional salmon and cream cheese, and this one is some sort of like roast veggies, and it all sounds amazing. And I don't know what I'm gonna start with. Am I supposed to start from the top down, or is there an etiquette to it?
No.
Okay, well, let me inhale this tiny taco. Oh no, it's been kind of glued down to the tray with some puree of sorts. Okay, so this is the second part of the afternoon tea, the sweet stuff, which I'm always the most excited about, although I have to say that the savories were chef's kisses. Anyway, so what we have here is, this is a Raffaello macaron. If you're European like me, you probably love Raffaellos. Then this is green tea and lemon tart. I think this is vanilla and wasabi, if I remember right, which sounds exciting. Down here, this is like a little mojito patisserie dome. This is a choux with cardamom and something. Sorry, my memory is not that perfect. This is a peach little cake slice. And of course we have the scones. We have fruity and non-fruity, and of course cottage cream and jam. Let me know in the comments below which one of these would you go after the first, or which one you would leave for the last bit, the best bit, obviously. Okay, so that was the afternoon tea at the Signet Library here right next to the St. Giles Cathedral. So I would say, like, to start with, like, the location is amazing, and you get to kind of sit inside this quiet, very serene space surrounded by books, which I imagine a lot of you really love, and you get to kind of see the world go by on, you know, just in front of St. Giles Cathedral, which is like, you know, tourist central. So this like juxtaposition of you having some nice peace and quiet and all the other people having to deal with the sound of bagpipes, I think that's very fun. This afternoon tea was extremely enjoyable. I think we both needed it. That setting again was perfect. And the food. Oh my god, the food is amazing. I think that like the space itself, you can tell that it's quite old. You know, it's not quite fully like up to date, like renovated. You do, when you enter, you get hit by that specific, like slightly musty smell you get when you like visit castles, which is not a bad thing. I think that it adds to the whole atmosphere. But I would say that the menu, the sweets and the savories are all very modern. Like some of the flavors in there, like the wasabi kind of moussey pudding, or like the cardamom little fluffy choux, all of those flavors I think are very now. And you know, you do get to explore some flavors that are probably not on your everyday menu, which I think is amazing. And it is what you should get in an afternoon tea if you're paying this much money for it, if you ask me. So overall, I think that this is actually a better value afternoon tea than the previous one, because you are really getting like everything that you want from an afternoon tea. The first afternoon tea, the cheapest one in Edinburgh, I think that's like it's like a light lunch. And I think that for a light lunch, that's basically quite expensive, like £15 for a light lunch, and you also had to pay the extra service fee. And you know, like none of it was really, you know, something to write home about. While here, for your £50 and no service fee, you can obviously tip, but you don't have to. So for the £50 per person, you get so many things to try, and you get this beautiful space, historical law library, and you also can have more than just one pot of tea or one coffee. All of those extra drinks, they did not show up on the bill, which I'm always surprised about, because like I am a person who can drink like 4 coffees in a row, so I feel like they're really asking for trouble when I come for afternoon tea. So I guess that the bottom line of this video, obviously I would love you to make your own opinion on this, but if you're interested in my opinion, I think that paying for the most expensive afternoon tea in Edinburgh, and that can be the Signet Library, or it can be an alternative. For example, the Waldorf Astoria at the west end of Princess Street also makes a really, really nice afternoon tea for a similar price. I think it is worth it. I think afternoon tea is supposed to be like a real treat. It's not something that you want to do once a week or once a month. It's something that you do maybe once a year, or you know, when you visit Edinburgh or Britain, and it makes sense to save up maybe, you know, 30 more pounds to go for something a bit more over the top, and like something that gives you this whole experience, and you know, the beautiful service and the beautiful setting. I think that's it from me. I am now very high on sugar. I'm gonna walk home and start editing, and then I'm gonna crash, because this was a lot of sugar. That was the one upside of the previous afternoon tea, the cheap one, that I didn't feel like this. Now I'm very just hype. Yes. So I'm gonna go do that, and in the meantime, you can visit me on social media, either on Instagram under Kakibot or Kakiblog, or maybe even on TikTok, where I'm also as Kakibot. And you can also visit, oh no, bongs. It's just one. Okay, you can also visit me in my Etsy store, which is a great way of supporting me and what I make. All of this, all of this experimentation that I do for you. I eat all this cake for you. Yeah, visit me there, buy something Edinburgh themed, and support this channel. Looking forward to having a little tea time discussion down in the comments below, and I shall see you soon. Bye. Is there someone behind me? Yes. Are we going to be in trouble?
No.
No. Okay. Simon hates bagpipes.
Yeah.